Hi, everyone. Can you see me and hear me? Yes? Okay. My screen just went blank. I don't know. Did yours? There we go. Thank you. Okay. So I'm on page 70. And hi, there's some faces. So working with the inner resource, this is, as I was saying, a tool of empowerment that gives us the ability, both within our meditative practice and in our regular life, to kind of navigate instances or situations that might be challenging or difficult. In meditation, often, or it is sometimes the case that emotions and beliefs can show up in our meditations kind of without us calling on them. And they really want to be seen. They want to be noticed. They want to be kind of held in what we often find in meditation, which is a sense of wholeness. Sometimes we say they're wanting to come home to wholeness. And, you know, I don't know what it seems like for you, but that all sounds well and good, but it doesn't always feel well and good. So sometimes there might be times in your meditation when something comes up for you that you're not either willing or able or interested in exploring. So I'd like to take some time and just flesh out the practice of inner resource. There is a neuroscientist called Rick Hanson. Have any of you read him or familiar with him? Yes, so some people are shaking their heads. He talks about neurologically, physiologically, and evolutionarily, the way that we are kind of, one of his books is called Hardwired for Happiness, that we are actually hardwired to have a negativity bias. And what that means is that the things that are kind of negative that come up, they stick to us like Velcro. And the things sometimes that are positive that come up, they slide off like one of those non-stick pans that you cook your eggs on. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but you go through life and something happens and then you leave, and when you're replaying it, oftentimes we don't replay the little wins that we have, but we super replay like any perceived negative thing or anything where we got embarrassed or the oh no moments. Have any of you ever had that experience? Yeah, I'm willing to be on that island by myself, but I see heads nodding. So in some ways that don't have to do with meditation, but do relate, we actually have to work to build the positive. It's like we have to double down, if you will, on bringing in the good, bringing in the ease, bringing in the positive, because we're actually wired to kind of let that slide. So the inner resource is an opportunity for us to build those pathways. And the more we build pathways to finding our feelings of ease, to okayness, to comfort, the more we're able to call on them in situations where we might feel uncomfortable, right? I don't know about you, but it's hardest for me to call on ease and call on kind of equanimity if I'm feeling flustered. So the idea is we practice when we're not feeling that way, so that when those instances come up, we have those pathways built and it's an easier access point into ease and okayness. All right, so if you would, we can go to page 70 in your notebooks. And if you don't have it, I'll read through the things and you can just start writing them. And then if anyone's willing after we do this to give me some of your things that bring you ease, I'll weave them into the meditation. And in that way, it becomes kind of your personal inner sanctuary meditation. And also I'll leave space if you don't want to do that, that you can bring those in for yourself. Does that sound okay? Okay. So if we're looking at this, we're starting to build our own, I'm going to call it a buffet, for lack of a better word. You're building your own salad bar of okayness. Now, the inner resource is a felt sense in your body of being okay. And sometimes it's really helpful to remember times when we felt okay, to remember things or people or places where we felt okay as an access point into those sensations. And I want to be really clear, this doesn't have to be like rainbows and, you know, unicorns and I don't know, like puppy dog perfection. Do you know what I mean? Like this could be a day where you're walking down the street and the bus doesn't go through the puddle and splash you. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, like we don't have to have like fireworks here. So we'll take a moment and go through this. And if you don't have anything for a particular category, that's fine, you just skip it. But if you think about or bring to mind feelings of ease or comfort, you could think about or write down food. Is there any food that you're like, yes, that feels like home, that feels like comfort to me? And you could jot those down. And I'll keep moving us ahead, but feel free to stay on any of these that really elicits a sense of okayness. You could think about or remember a song or a line from a poem or maybe a prayer or a mantra that brings ease or groundedness, a sense of support to you, and write that down. And then are there people? And sometimes this can be tricky if the people are no longer with us or they're not around. So you can know that that might bring up the ways that those people aren't here and make your heart a little tender or sad. But in this one, really calling to mind people who bring support to your life. In this section, I would also include an idea of a guardian. And that doesn't have to be a person. That could be an animal, you know, a dog. It could be an imagined animal like a falcon that you could ride on and see things, or a dragon. So in this section, people or animals that lend a sense of ease and comfort. And then maybe there's a specific memory, a time in your life when you just felt like at peace, a sense of well-being and ease. And if there is a memory, you could write down some details of that. What are the colors? Were there smells there or specific sounds? And then the next two generally, are there smells that invite ease or well-being? For some people, like lavender, or like I love the scent of bread baking. Things, do you know what I mean? Or the ocean could be it for you. or sounds that bring ease. And then maybe there's a certain kind of weather or temperature. For some people, autumn, you know, like crisp fall weather makes them feel at ease. And for others, maybe it's summertime on the beach. And then the last one, I have book or movie. So sometimes this sense of ease or comfort, I mean, it can feel near impossible. Or maybe we've never really had a sense of this in our life. I try not to use the word safety. Maybe that's not here for you, or maybe you don't know what that means. But for some of us, maybe there's been a book or a movie. Or do you know sometimes when you go in waiting rooms, they have those magazines and it's like a tropical destination? You might choose a place where you could imagine that someone could feel at ease, or that maybe you could feel at ease if you were there. So if that applies to you, or maybe there's a book or movie that you love, that when you watch it or you read it, you feel, these are my words, snuggly or cozy. All right, looks like you got it. All right, now, you could pick one of these or just the global sense of them, and maybe close your eyes for just a moment if that's comfortable, and bring to mind one of these things. And notice when you're with this memory, this experience, how do you feel in your body? This is really the key. What does ease, well-being, okayness, what does it feel like to you? And then when you're ready, maybe you jot down a word or two on that. And if any of you are interested or willing, you can unmute yourself. I think if you just press on your picture, the microphone with the red slash will show up and you can click that. And if there's any piece of this that you're interested in sharing, sometimes speaking it out loud can be nice, either a snippet of a memory or a scent, or how you feel in your body when you feel at ease. So I wonder if anyone has something that they are willing or interested in sharing. And if not, that's okay too. Or you could just hold up your paper to the video and I can see the word.
I'll go.
Okay.
I picked the sounds of the ocean or
Mm-hmm.
wind going through trees. I like summer, late spring, early fall, with the wind being in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And the favorite memory was shelling on a beach, and it was a beach that was a park reserve, so it wasn't commercialized at all, and you just felt so connected to nature. And I love the ocean, so it had all the great things: the smell, the sound, the breeze,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah. So, Michelle, when you bring that memory to the forefront, what do you notice happening in your body? Like, what does that feel like?
Grounded,
Yeah.
a sense of peace, a sense of calm, a sense of everything feels okay.
Yes. Thank you. Anyone else want to pop in or share a word or an image? Okay. So I asked that just because I would weave them into the meditation for you. So what Rick Hansen suggests, and some others as well, is that we bring in this sense of inner resource in our daily lives like 3 times a day. Brushing your teeth, like washing the dishes, walking down the street, you call in this sense. And in the beginning, we often do use memories or images to call in the feeling. Totally good, completely okay. And over time, what often begins to happen is that when we settle into calling on ease or well-being, we can let the images go and the felt sense just comes up. So I'll share a little bit with you what it feels like for me, and then I'm going to do a short meditation on it so you have it. For me, it's a sense of warmth. And I think I was saying these words earlier, like snuggly and cozy. I feel like the inner resource for me is like a cloak or a blanket that if I feel unsettled or I'm frightened or nervous, like I can wrap this sense of inner resource around me. And there's something very, to me, comforting about it. So I find a sense of comfort and a sense of okayness. And those are just my words. So, you know, Michelle said grounded, calm, everything okay. And I completely resonate with those. But know too that you might have other words as your access point into this. Does this make sense? Yes. I'm going to scroll through the faces. Is this making sense to you? Yes. Okay. So go ahead and settle in. You allow your body to find some ease, some support. And maybe it would feel good to just wiggle a little bit first, or do a neck roll, or a little seated cat-cow. And then from those gentle movements, welcome in some stillness. Notice if any small adjustments would allow you to feel more comfortable. And please feel free to do that, to adjust your body. Noticing any emotions that might be present today. You just acknowledge and honor the fact that they're here, if that feels true. And take a few moments to shine the light of your attention on your mind. And just notice any busyness or calmness here. Knowing that there's no kind of right way to be. If busy's here, that's okay. And if calm's here, that's okay too. Noticing your breath today. And curious, where do you feel it most in your body today? Might be the same place as last time, or it could be somewhere different. And if it feels useful, counting down your exhales from 11 to 1. And then allowing the counting to fade away. Stay with the exhales. And let the next exhale or two, the downward energy of the exhale, bring your attention to the places that are resting on the chair or the props. And feel the way that your body is supported. You might sense into the floor beneath that. And maybe let your attention move further down still to the earth. If it feels right, invite the earth energy to rise up and meet you. And then explore and experiment, releasing your weight into the ground. Very little effort here. And begin to cultivate, call to mind a sense of inner sanctuary. It really could be as simple as feeling your next exhale, or feeling the supports beneath you. Or perhaps you bring to mind a memory, or a certain smell that elicits ease, a sense of being grounded, calm. Maybe for you it's being by the ocean, on a beach, or listening to the wind move through the trees. Perhaps you welcome in a beloved pet or a guardian. Really inviting the memory to come alive, the scents, the sounds. And then at some point, if it's okay, let the memory kind of drift to the background. And notice any felt sense of ease, of okayness, or well-being in your body. And if this feels very far away right now, that's okay too. Maybe you just feel an area of the body where there's nothing happening, where the body is at rest. But possibly touching into sensations of heaviness or warmth. Feeling connected, grounded. For the next maybe 4 rounds of breath, just invite your nervous system to rest in any amount of ease or okayness that may be present. And then take a moment and imagine going out into your everyday life, meeting the ups and downs, and calling on this sense of ease. And allowing it to blossom and support you. When you're ready, you can gently begin to deepen the breath or welcome in movements. Wiggling fingers or gently moving your body. The invitation is for you to continue this exploration and continue collecting things. Notice moments in your day, in your week, where you feel just okay or you feel comforted. Next week in class, we're going to start moving towards working with beliefs and emotions in class. So this can be a really useful tool, and just in our everyday life, again, to kind of counteract that negativity bias, building this reserve and this ability to ride the path to okayness. Knowing that, you know, some days it will be easier and some days it might be more challenging, but the more we do it, the more we have access to it. So if any questions come up for you, please feel free to reach out to me, either about this or other things. And I very much look forward to seeing you all on Tuesday. Namaste.